Since childhood, I've had a hardwired aversion to weakness, vulnerability, failure, insecurity, blame, fear, and flaws. But suddenly, I was hit squarely in the face with each and every one of those qualities, not in Rob, but in myself. For a long time, my impulse was to bury them so that I could put up a strong front for Alex and Chloe, and because I'm inherently private, it felt more comfortable to stay busy, appear as normal as possible, and as best I could, hide the fact that I was shattered and struggling to put myself back together. There were two people with whom I shared everything I was thinking and feeling. Otherwise, exposing myself, my imperfections, and my family's challenges in the wake of Rob's suicide, especially to millions of television viewers, seemed much too scary. It took a while and a lot of trial and error learning what helps and what doesn't, who your real friends are and who they're not, what to expect and not expect when inevitable milestones come along, what to expect and not expect of yourself and those around you, before I tentatively started reaching out to a handful of other suicide survivors, essentially to ask how they were getting through the recovery and healing process. I was hoping for words of wisdom and advice. What I got was so much more than that. I discovered that there's a huge community of incredible, heroic suicide survivors, sadly growing by the day as suicide reaches epidemic proportions, who are more than willing to say to hell with the stigma, tell their stories, and open their hearts and their arms. And it was more empowering than I can describe to hear them say and mean, I know exactly what you're feeling, and you're not alone. Then, a year and 4 months after Rob took his life, another devastating suicide hit the news. And as a result of my televised interview about it and the overwhelming reaction to the interview, I was given the opportunity to learn another life-changing lesson. As empowering as it is to hear someone say and mean, I know exactly how you're feeling and you're not alone, it's even more empowering to come out of hiding, flaws and all, and say exactly the same thing to others who need it. If you're one of those who needs it, or if you know and love someone who does, this book is for you. I'm still learning. I still have days when this all seems surreal. I still wonder sometimes if I'll ever feel unbroken again, and I can't pretend that this whole hard journey is behind me once and for all. But I've come far enough to reach out to you and promise, as part of an extraordinary community of survivors whose stories you're about to hear, that there really is life after suicide. Chapter 1. It was Saturday, February 11th, 2017. I got up around 6 a.m. Thanks to my regular appearances on ABC's Good Morning America, I'm programmed to be an early riser. 6 a.m. is sleeping in for me. My sweet 17-year-old daughter, Chloe, was an hour and a half away at the Lawrenceville private boarding school and a proud member of their varsity ice hockey team. My wonderful 18-year-old son, Alex, was a freshman at Columbia University, but he'd been home for a couple of days recovering from the flu. As I walked past his closed bedroom door, I felt a wave of relief that he'd chosen a college so close by and could come home when and if he needed to. I paused at his door to listen for a second. It was silent inside. He was obviously sound asleep, and I smiled at what a still, peaceful sleeper he is as I quietly kept walking. Our apartment was on the 40th floor of a doorman building in Fort Lee, New Jersey, with an incredible view of the New York skyline across the river and the George Washington Bridge, about 300 yards from our building's entrance. I headed to the living room window to watch some scattered clouds pass over Manhattan and formulate my game plan for the day. I'm hardwired to open my eyes every morning thinking, how much can I get done today? How much can I accomplish? And how soon can I start?